Alright, so we're back, and we're going to review Doctor Who, Season 10, Episode 3, Thin Ice. So the Doctor and Bill end up in 1814 London, where the Thames is iced over. The Doctor and Bill learn that there's a beast hidden below the water, and it's causing the freezing, but it's also feeding on people. As they unravel the plot, they discover a vile man by the name of Sutcliffe is behind it all, and has been feeding people to the beast, to produce poop fuel. And Sutcliffe is about to give the beast a huge feast if the Doctor does not stop him. You know, I think what was enjoyable about Thin Ice was to see Doctor Who go back to an episode of investigating. Or I'm never more engaged with Doctor Who than when the Doctor and the companion are on a mission and they're meeting interesting people and they're witnessing horrors. They're trying to work out what is happening. It feels like Season 10 is trying to return to that formula that was done so well in Seasons 1 to 5, which really it never should have abandoned. While most news sites have been talking about the themes of racism that were being explored, one that hasn't been mentioned as predominantly is the Doctor and the dealings with death. You know, Bill quickly learns that the Doctor is familiar with death and he cannot save everybody. And this becomes rather jarring for Bill. He's like, look, I have to move on in order to save more people. Can't always go back in time and save someone. There are still rules, and he has to kind of explain that to her. And I think this is a great episode to relearn why the Doctor can't save everyone and why he does have to keep going. That is the more important theme in this story. Learning to deal with hard truths in life. You cannot save everyone. The racism side, personally, I feel it was a little heavy-handed and poorly handled. Lines like history has been whitewashed and things like that felt too on the nose. I'm all for political and social commentary in science fiction. That is what science fiction is for, but you have to do it with some class. I think the Doctor's speech about humanity and what exactly it means to be human was exactly what the episode needed. But the quips about kind of racism and even in the cinematography that just kind of felt to linger on certain characters longer than others, as if it was trying to make a point, just felt a little over the top. But in all honesty, exploring racism in the 1814s isn't as emotional as exploring it in 2017, where it's grossly relevant. Sure, you've just sent Bill back in time and she's had to experience some racial hate, in the Regency period, but I'm sure she experiences that in 2017. I don't feel like that was a learning curve for the character or anything she needed to experience. Kind of feel like that is why some of the other Doctor Who episodes, that do have characters of color going back in time don't always get such a on-the-nose treatment with some of that stuff, because it's bloody bad enough in our modern day setting, and that's where we need to be tackling it. I think it was fine for them to explore the topic, but I think it was done very poorly. I don't think it's a crown achievement for the show, and I think it would have serviced the plot a lot better if they'd done it in a modern context, because people tend to forget or overlook the fact that racism is very much alive right now. So, the monster itself, the beast, hidden underneath the water, the big giant fishy guy. He's not really the monster of the story. The monster of the story is Sutcliffe, which is a really common trope in Doctor Who these days. It's kind of like, ooh, we'll have this big scary monster, but he won't be the villain. It'll be this guy. It'll be the human that's the villain. Or if the monster has to be the quote-unquote villain, the monster will just be misunderstood. And that's something that happens a little bit too often. So part of me was disappointed with the fact that, okay, great, we have another monster that's not really the monster, it's the human that's the monster. But I think those are my two biggest critiques for the episode, is the racism stuff and the reuse of the monster not being the monster twist. Overall, the investigation side of the story was fun, and the overall kind of plot of there's something being underneath the Thames that's causing the freezes, like all that stuff was incredibly fun, and I really enjoyed that. Of course, we are treated to another little tease. There's some banging on the cellar door down there. I still think it could be one of the three options. It could be the Doctor, it could be the Master, or it could be the Valyard, but I really do hope that it's the Valyard. But time will tell. Time will tell. Your guess is as good as mine still on this one. So yeah, what did you think of the episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Comment below and let me know. And if you like this video, do like it and subscribe.